Welcome to NSR Talks, and today we're going to be discussing why it's important to always have an emergency fund. Now, we live in a world where a lot of people don't have any money. Well, people have money, people have good jobs. There's people that are making $100K a year, but people are still living paycheck to paycheck. The reason this is because people don't really know what to do when they get money. And I think the most important thing is to save up at least 6 to 12 months of expenses, because that way, if anything happens to you, you know for a fact you can cover it. If you get a pop tire, guess what? You can cover it without stress. A lot of people right now, one pop tire, they'll be done. It'll clear their bank account. They're going to have to go into debt or ask people for money. And another thing, the reason why it's good to have an emergency fund, so you don't have to bother your family members or friends for money. A lot of people have their own problems that they're dealing with, like people don't have extra money to give you, and nobody's going to give you any handouts, but it's powerful when you know that you have cash reserves so that if anything ever happens to you, you're covered. That's why I always prioritize saving. I prioritize putting away money for my future self and my future family. It's always good to have at least 10,000 put away, so that you know that if anything goes wrong, you don't got to stress, and you know that if you need to change jobs, or if you get sick and you need to take some days off, you know that you have money put away so that you won't have to worry about it. Because I've had like so many just emergency expenses pop up, and guess what? I was able to cover it because I did the work to save up the money in advance, so that when stuff like that happens, I'm not asking for money or going into debt on credit cards. You know what I'm saying? But they don't teach a lot of this in school. Like, financial literacy is not taught in school because the system is set up so that people can stay in debt and never leave the country and never be free and stay stuck at their job that they hate for the rest of their lives and never be able to build nothing on the side. And I don't want you guys to live like that, because that's how I was living for a while. But once I started taking control of my finances and learning about budgeting, learning about saving, learning about investing, my life has changed for the better. Now I can pick up and go anytime I want. There's nothing holding me back. Why? Because I have cash reserves, and money is a tool. So I use my money as a tool to do the things I want and go where I want and leave any situation that I don't like. And I want the same for you guys. So what you need to do is figure out how much money it costs you to live a month, and take that number and times it by 6. And whatever that number comes up to, try your hardest to stack up that money so that you're just going to have a way better peace of mind, because you know for a fact that if anything happens, hey, I got money. I don't have to go beg my family for money. I don't have to go to credit card debt. I don't have to go to Chase Bank and ask for money. No, because you're taking care of yourself. I feel like having an emergency fund is self-care, because you're showing that you care about yourself enough to protect yourself financially. Excuse all the noise around me. I'm at a station right now traveling, but I'm still trying to get these videos out. But yeah, it's important to have an emergency fund. They don't teach this in school. Your family probably never taught you this, because it's just not common. A lot of people in this country, America, are living paycheck to paycheck, even when they're making $100K, because people just think that when you get money, you're supposed to spend it. They don't never teach you to save it or invest it. That's why I'm on this channel telling you guys, don't spend your money. You can flex later. Right now, stack and make sure that you have some sort of security for yourself before you go and buy your toys. The toys are for later. The toys are after you have your investment set up and after you have your finances and stuff taken care of. Then you can splurge and get what you want, because you already have your safety net. You already have your other financial things handled. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'm not telling anybody what to do. All I'm doing is giving you the information that I've used to elevate my life, But yeah, that is the importance of having an emergency fund. At least try to save up 10,000 10,000 should be good for most people to survive off of for at least 3 months, depending on your bills. Me, as a person who's a minimalist, 10,000 is way more than enough because I literally don't buy anything. Like me, every time I get paid, I usually just put away everything. And I take care of my bills. I take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. But for the most part, I save about probably close to 60% of my income. So I know a lot of people can't do that, but for me, single man, no kids, building my empire, that's the best life. But this has been NSR Talks. Catch you guys on the next one.